Are we good? Okay. So for group one, what we looked at is Luke 8 through 10. And we're just going to go through these. So go. Some of the highlights where you just see lots of going to towns, going to villages, very intentional, going to different places. But you also see it going in the sense of welcoming. So you see Jesus meeting crowds a lot of times. And instead of saying, oh, no, we don't have time for this right now, he welcomes them, he welcomes them, he receives them. So there's that sense of going. There's also going into homes. And then there's an intentional sending. So there's that sense of going, sending out the 12, sending out the 72, so that they are going. So those are some of the highlights that we saw of going. For the gospel, we see a lot of proclaiming, and in particular the preaching of the kingdom of God. That's the message again and again. The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God is near. The kingdom of God is near. And so it's the kingdom is the message. But then also the gospel is more than just the word spoken, but it's also the healing and the raising the dead and casting out demons. The signs and wonders, that is also part of the gospel. We see both of what Jesus himself is doing as well as the disciples are going out doing. For gathering, you see he's gathering leaders together. He gathers crowds. You see him, often you see it with just James, John, Peter, and you see those three, and so there's just a very small, intimate gathering that you see happening, and then you see a lot of times the 12. So again, the gathering for leadership. But then you also see even splitting, like gathering in the sense of feeding of the 5,000. You see him having his disciples gather people into groups of 50. So even there's this idea of breaking into groups or gathering people. So you see them gathering in homes, in the middle of the city, in streets, on mountainsides, in the public. So you just everywhere, anywhere they're gathering. There's no specific place, one over the other. Small groups, big groups. Both are gathering. For growing, you see a lot of teaching to the leaders, but teaching to those who are not yet saved. There's just a lot of teaching, a lot of instruction, and physical. Yeah, what were you meaning by that? Physical presence.
Oh, he was with them.
Oh, okay, yeah, just he himself personally with them a lot, with the disciples, with the crowds. Not just here, read this, but he actually himself was interacting with them. There's commands. Commands to do this. Command to the man who used to be filled with demons to go back and share what God has done. And so you see commands. You see him asking questions, and you see him answering people's questions. So again, answering and asking. For the guiding, guys, got an hour? Summarizing is kind of difficult, but a lot of it you see modeling. You see him modeling for his disciples a lot, revealing who he is, and then so in the same way we would be revealing, the disciples revealing who God is to other people. You see modeling a lot. This is how it's done. This is how you do this. Now it's your turn. You see delegation, authorizing, empowering. And so you see a lot of that sort of thing happens. And there's accountability because he sent out the 12 and the 72, and then they come back and they report. And so again, there's an accountability that's happening there. There's praying together, there's teaching together, and yeah, even in one situation too, again of a idea of the modeling, where when he raised the little girl from the dead, he specifically brought Peter, James, John together with him into there so they could witness it themselves and see that take place. They also see the guiding in response to persecution. with the Samaritans that rejected Jesus because he was on his way to Jerusalem, and he rebukes his disciples for that.
Last wrap up.
Last wrap up. Okay, abide. Yep, abide. You see a lot of prayer. You see spontaneous abiding, and you see intentional abiding, where he just kind of spontaneously just is abiding with his Father, but you also see intentional times. You see a lot of joy, and you see either privately or in small groups. And then just last comment about just the persecution, seeing the not holding it against people who are persecuting. You see just sending out perseverance despite persecution, and not being ashamed of Christ in the face of persecution. So those are some highlights. Yes.
All right.